Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Pub Trivia Experience. My name is Chris, and we are gathered here tonight for a little Jeopardy hot seat head-to-head. I have got legitimately two of the most fun people in the entire world to talk to, two of my favorite people. Let's go ahead, let's meet them. First up, we're going to head on up to the Chicagoland area, one half of the Frenemy Trivia podcast. My good friend Brittany Shaw. Brittany, my friend, how you doing? What are you drinking?
Hey, Chris. I am doing great. The work week is finally over, and that is something to celebrate. I am nervous about this, but I'm very excited. As far as what I am drinking, I went to Skeleton Key Brewery last night for Tringo through Liquid Courage, and they had a beer that sounded fascinating to me. It's called Sodage, and it is a wit beer infused with chrysanthemum, fresh sage, and orange peel.
Ooh.
Which I'd never heard of chrysanthemum in a beer before, but it was delicious, so I picked up some for the podcast because I knew I was doing this tonight. So that's what I'm drinking.
You rushed the two-step pop there, but it still sounded great.
Yeah. Sometimes I can nail it and sometimes I can fail it, so...
Well, you both nailed your Jeopardy audition quizzes and your personality tests. Let's head on up to Connecticut, my home state, the birthplace of me. Scott Brill, my friend, how are you doing, sir, and what are you drinking?
Well, I'm doing just fine. Things are good. I agree. A nice end of a work week, and we're taping this. And so, as many of your listeners who even care to know me at all, I am still a teetotaler. I've gone into the depths of some drinking on some of the past games, but not tonight. So it's my favorite Pepsi Cola hitting the spot. But in my official, as I always do, my Abbott and Costello, who's on first official souvenir glass, which is my prized possession. My father and I bonded over Abbott and Costello my whole life, so that's really important to me. But so I don't know if it's an unfair advantage that Brittany's got beer and I've got Pepsi, but I don't think it really matters because I think we'll see what happens. I'm also scared too, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, to be honest.
This is going to be a great guy.
And I know the viewers can't see, but I am wearing a tank top in honor of our friend Tim. Because he's just he's awesome. And I know he's the host with Brittany of Frenemies, and I've been my good pleasure to be on a couple episodes of that. I just love it, and I can't wait to be on another one.
I can't wait for season 2. Actually, I can't wait for season 1 to wrap up. I can't wait to crown our Frenemy.
Oh, I think it's going to be fascinating. Yeah.
Champion.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be fun. I've heard some spoilers that I'm not going to mention here, but it's, from what I hear, a very, very fun game. Well, speaking of a fun game, I think I've got one here for you tonight. We're going to start with it's going to be a standard hot seat head-to-head game. Brittany versus Scott. We're going to start with our pregame. Pregame is 10 questions. It's a this or that type of scenario. So really 50-50 chance of getting it right. Scott, being that you are the one that has been on the show the fewest amount of times, do you want to go first or second in the pregame?
Oh, boy.
I should mention your category is U.S. geography.
Oh, for the love of goodness.
Come on, Chris.
Oh, boy. I will go first.
I love the confidence on that
Actor. Yeah, I'll go first. Go ahead.
Thespian.
Acting.
All right. Scott, you're going to go first. Here's how your pregame is going to go.
Uh-oh.
I am going to give you the capital city in a state. I am then going to give you 2 other capital cities. All you have to do is tell me which one is closest city center to city center.
What?
I'm going to give you one capital city, one state capital.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I am then going to give you 2 other state capitals, and you have to tell me which of those 2 that I give you is closest to the first. So
to the first state capital that you mentioned.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Right. No idea. Go ahead.
And is it as the crow flies or like drive time? Okay, cool.
Okay.
And I will mention this is city center to city center.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay. Yes. Can I go second? No, okay, I'm first. I'll go. Can I go last? Can I go not at all?
Hey, I can win by forfeit.
That's right, by forfeit. 5-0. Well, we're off to the races.
In this episode.
All right, good luck. I think we have an equal shot at this, Brittany. I really do. Here.
We shall see.
Yeah,
if it's going to be like that, I guess it's time for me to pick up my drink.
Oh yeah.
We didn't. Yeah.
I got a bottle kill tonight.
Yeah, that was.
So I recorded last night with Tim and Jeremy, and I
Mhm.
killed a bottle last night of James E. Pepper 1776 bourbon. But I killed that as a Manhattan because it's a really good mixing bourbon. It's actually pretty good straight too, but this is one I don't dare mix. This is an Old Forester single barrel. Comes in at 90 proof. It's a private barrel from the New Tampa Liquor and Cigar Company here in Tampa, Florida. This here has been one of my favorite bottles I've ever bought. Didn't even buy it. It was a gift from a friend. It's a great bottle. This bottle sold out at the store in the first day.
Wow.
So it's gone now. That bottle is gone. I will never have it again. And there's only a little bit left. There's only about 2 ounces left. So I'm going to milk this and make it worth my while. But
How many bottles have you killed when I've been on an episode? Like, I'm starting to worry that I'm problematic for your liver.
podcasting is problematic for my life. It's a good thing we're adding a fourth show.
He's stalling, He's stalling before he asks us these.
I'm sorry, I'm leaving Scott here in limbo. Scott, we're going to jump right in here.
Okay.
You got this, Scott. Rooting for you.
Yeah, all right.
Your state capital is Pierre, South Dakota.
Pierre, South Dakota. Wow.
Which state capital is closer to Pierre? Is it Bismarck, North Dakota, or St. Paul, Minnesota?
I'm going to say St. Paul.
Unfortunately not. St. Paul's 357 miles away. Bismarck's 171.
Okay.
Brittany, your state is Salem, Oregon. Is it Boise, Idaho, or Olympia, Washington?
Well, I think Salem is pretty far down in the state. But Boise, you kind of have to cross I'm going to say Olympia.
Olympia, 145 miles. Boise, 350. Olympia is a correct answer. Brittany's on the board. Scott, we're going back to you, and we're going to a city that I spent a little over 4 years of my life in.
Okay.
Your city is Tallahassee, Florida.
Oh, God. Yes, okay.
Is it Atlanta, Georgia, or Montgomery, Alabama?
How about Montgomery?
Montgomery is 179 miles away. Atlanta, 229. Montgomery is correct.
I knew they were close.
Right. Brittany, for you, we're going to stay in the South. You get Little Rock, Arkansas. Cool. Which of these is closer? Is it Jackson, Mississippi, or Jefferson City, Missouri?
Oh, boy.
Okay. Okay, so I know Arkansas, if you go through Memphis, you go into Arkansas. I'm going to say Jackson, Mississippi.
Jackson, Mississippi is 208 miles away. Jefferson City, 265.
Good for you. That was close. That was close, yeah.
But Jackson, Mississippi is the correct answer. Scott, we're going to you. I'm glad that you picked odds here because your city is Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
You been there?
A few times. Just drove through it the other day.
Well, which one of these capitals is closest? Albany, New York, or Providence, Rhode Island?
Wow. I'm going to say Providence.
So Albany is only 83 miles away.
You're kidding.
Providence is 65.
Providence. Oh my God. If I got that wrong.
It would be really awkward if you got...
Boy, you're a scary answer giver. Let me just tell you. Okay.
It would be really awkward if you got your home state wrong.
Yeah, and if you ask me literature questions later and the librarian gets it wrong, that's going to be bad too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Brittany is getting her home, Springfield, Illinois.
Okay.
Brittany, which city is closer? Des Moines, Iowa, or Indianapolis, Indiana?
Okay.
Boy.
So Illinois is not my home state. I've lived here for about 2 years.
That's where you're at now.
Yeah, I've been to Springfield. And I used to live in Iowa. And
Did you visit The Simpsons?
I feel like it sometimes.
Yes.
So Des Moines was about a 2.5 hour drive from where I lived in Iowa. I'm going to say Indianapolis.
I couldn't tell if you were answering the question or if you were doing some old school.
I was mentally drawing a map, because it was about 2.5 hours from where I lived in Iowa to Des Moines, but it was also about 2.5 hours to Chicago, and it's about 3 hours from Chicago down to Springfield. So I was trying to do like a hypotenuse between them.
Okay. What's the answer?
Yeah.
Des Moines is 242 miles. Indianapolis 185. Indianapolis is correct.
Very good.
Scott, we're going over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Your city is Austin, Texas. Which
boy.
one's closer? Baton Rouge, Louisiana, or Oklahoma City, Oklahoma?
Oh boy. Geez, where is Austin in the state? It's. I'm gonna go with Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge is 391 miles away. Oklahoma City 360. Unfortunately, Oklahoma City was the answer.
Shoot.
Mm-hmm. All right, Brittany, you're getting Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Which one of these cities is closer, Cheyenne, Wyoming, or Santa Fe, New Mexico?
Okay. Trying to draw hypotenuses again in my head, but I've never been to these states, so that's a little bit harder. Well, I've been in Denver once.
She's going to beat me with geometry. I'm frightened.
Yeah, I know this is a geography round, but I'm using geometry.
I'm really scared that geology and geometry are geography. Yeah, geology. What am I saying?
Geology, geography, and geometry.
They're all
something
involved
geo.
somehow. Yeah. Are there stones involved? What's happening?
I think Cheyenne is closer to Denver.
Cheyenne is 97 miles away from Denver. Santa Fe 284. Cheyenne is correct. All right. Scott, we're going to you next. Your city is Frankfort, Kentucky. Which capital is closer, Charleston, West Virginia, or Nashville, Tennessee?
Wow. Again, I've actually been to some of these places. Gosh, golly. How about West Virginia? How about Charleston?
No, you are a John Denver fan. Charleston, West Virginia, 175.8 miles away. I added the point in there because Nashville's 175.4 city center to city.
Oh my gosh. That is so...
I'm sorry. Okay.
That's just rude.
Well, hold on.
Hers are like hundreds of miles away from each other.
Coming.
Hers are hundreds of miles away. Mine are like feet from each other. I mean, what? Come on. Okay, my
first was like 390 and 360, so it's. But yeah, that's 0.2 miles.
Your city is Honolulu, Hawaii.
Not close to anything. Good luck to this.
Which of these are closer? Is it Montpelier, Vermont, or Raleigh, North Carolina?
Really challenging my geometry skills, my geography skills, and probably my geology skills at this point. There's volcanoes on Hawaii, so we've got our geology connection.
That's right.
So Honolulu is on the big island, I think. Maybe, or one of the big islands. Not the big one, but one of the big ones. I don't know. I'm bad
on an island.
This. So it's on an island in the Pacific Ocean.
That is true.
And it's really far from both of these. Vermont is like up here somewhere, and North Carolina's way over here, but Raleigh's like a little bit more into it. So in honor of Jeff Woodhead, I'm going to say sorry about Margaret Atwood and pick Raleigh, North Carolina.
Well, Montpelier, Vermont is 4,977 miles away. Raleigh, 4,786. Raleigh is the correct answer.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff Woodhead.
Swept her way through the pregame.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I've wasted all of my luck and knowledge.
Are you going to give me Juno? What are you giving me? Yeah.
Well, we're out of the pregame. We're going into hot seat round.
That was the end of. That was 5.
That was 5 each.
They only got 1.
You got 2.
You got 2. The current scores are 5-2.
Uh-huh.
Now, Scott, because you are trailing going into hot seat round 1, the choice is yours, my friend. Do you want to go first or second in hot seat round 1?
Oh boy, it's a tough thing. I'll go second.
That means Brittany is going first. I have got 15 minutes on the clock. Brittany, your time will begin after I read your first question. Are you ready?
Yes, and good luck, Scott.
Good luck to you. Absolutely.
Here we go. In 1974, President Ford appointed historian Daniel J. Boorstin to which government position?
Uh,
That's Daniel J. Boorstin, Boorstin.
you said he was a historian?
Historian Daniel J. Boorstin.
Okay. Head archivist of the Library of Congress. I don't know if that's a position or not.
It's actually the head librarian of the Library of Congress.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry, Scott.
I cannot give that to you because
I know.
it's a specific title. We're going.
I was going to say chief librarian, but that didn't feel like a position either.
Well, Scott, somnambulating, SOMNAMBULATING, is a fancy term for what nighttime activity?
Sleepwalking.
Sleepwalking is correct. Brittany, we're going over to you. Hopefully you paid attention to the critical flop that was Bee Movie. In the movie, how many wings does a bee have?
Well, if they followed scientific accuracy
And geology, geometry, and geography.
and zoology,
And
I was
zoology.
hoping this was going to be a thing about do you like jazz? Because that's about all I know from the Bee Movie. That he was a lawyer at some point.
Bee was a lawyer?
I think the bee has 4 wings.
The bee did have 4 wings. That is correct.
Cool.
All right, Scott, moving over to you. Which celebrity theater has handprints, footprints, and signatures embedded in the concrete located across its forecourt?
I have a picture of me sitting next to Judy Garland and Jack Benny in front of Grauman's Chinese Theater. It's had many different names, but that's kind of what it's most known as.
That is correct. Grauman's Chinese Theater is what we're looking for. Brittany, over to you. What European aerospace company makes the A320 and the Beluga line of airplanes?
Aer Lingus.
That's an airline. We're looking for the company Airbus.
Oh.
Scott.
That was a style of plane.
Enriched flour is a flour that has all but which of the following added to it? Citric acid, riboflavin, or folic acid?
What? Please, I'm sorry. Please say that again. I got tripped up by enriched flour. I was like, "What are you asking me?" Go ahead.
Enriched flour is a flour that has all but which of the following added to it? So it has 2 of these added to it. Which one does not get added to enriched flour?
Okay.
Citric acid, riboflavin, or folic acid?
Citric acid?
Citric acid's a correct answer.
Oh, God.
Say riboflavin and folic are both B vitamins. Citric
Right there, right,
so.
and isn't right. Yeah, that's I think what my brain was thinking.
Brittany, in which European country would you find the Rijksmuseum in the same city as the Vincent van Gogh Museum?
They were both Dutch, so I think it's going to be in the Netherlands somewhere. What's in the Netherlands? What?
Netherlands,
you wanted the country, the Netherlands.
Don't give her any hint. What are you doing? Don't say anything. Why are you talking?
It's my show. I'll talk if I want to.
No, not when you're giving a trivia question.
And I'll talk if I want to.
Scott, we're over to you. Which office staple was?
Well, what did she answer? Did she answer the
Netherlands?
You said
That's
Netherlands.
what I said.
Oh, that was the country. I thought you wanted the city.
No, the country.
The country. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
She had said Netherlands.
That's why he stopped me when I said the country.
I honestly thought I heard you say the city, but okay, yeah.
So I did say it's in the same city as the Vincent van Gogh Museum, but I was looking for the country when she said Netherlands.
Gotcha. I'm sorry. I knew city was. I'm sorry. Keep moving on. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just clean the wax out of my ears and we'll go on.
Which office staple was invented by Art Fry in 1974 because he was tired of his bookmarks slipping out of his hymnal at church? If you want to reread, I can provide that.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Which office staple was invented by Art Fry in 1974 because he was tired of his bookmarks slipping out of his hymnal at church?
Could he possibly have invented? I know they have different names. What's the original thing called? Post-it notes?
Post-it notes is a correct answer. Brittany, which of these is the name of a popular brand of electric-powered mobility scooters? Is it the Booty Scooty, the Rascal, or the Menace?
One of those is a real thing. Okay, I'm gonna say the rascal.
The Rascal is correct.
But I think Brittany and I, the Booty Scooty, we should patent that, market that, and move on.
All right, Scott, within one either way, how many years was David Cameron the UK's prime minister?
Wow. It was a while. I think it's longer than we think it was. I'm going to, well, a term is like 6 years, and that might be, I'm going to say 6.
6 is correct on the nose. Nicely
Wow.
done.
God.
Didn't even need the one either way. Brittany, according to legend, Swiss folk hero William Tell was an expert with what weapon that The Walking Dead has proved has a place in a zombie apocalypse?
I know he used archery skills, but I didn't think the crossbow was invented yet. I'm just say a bow, an arrow.
I have crossbow as my answer. I will
Okay.
flag that, and we will research it at half.
Okay.
And come
Like,
back.
I'd say crossbow with The Walking Dead, but I didn't think crossbows existed at the time of William Tell. So
They
I
did
think
all
they've
of-
existed even a long time, yeah. Mm.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll go back and we'll double check. We're going back over to
no
Scott.
need. Just don't give it to me. It's fine. I changed my answer.
Now a household name. Who published the American Dictionary on the English language back in 1828?
Webster.
Webster. No, Webster's a correct
No,
answer.
Webster. Mhm.
Brittany, which SNL alum was the target of a Jimmy Kimmel mean tweet that joked, "I'm glad he was shot in Zombieland"?
Oh, Bill Murray?
Bill Murray is a
Oh,
correct
right.
answer. Scott, which British actor played Batman in the 2022 reboot directed by Matt Reeves?
That would be Christian Bale.
No, the
Oh, no. Oh.
reboot was Robert Pattinson.
Oh, shoot. See, I'm the superheroes get me all confused. But Christian Bale's English.
Mhm.
Welsh.
Yes.
Sorry, I know.
He might be Welsh.
I think
but
Or Welsh,
he's
whatever
from
he
the
is.
UK.
Oh, sorry. See,
All right, Brittany,
superheroes got me in the ass again. I think we now have the we have the title for the episode.
We do. Brittany, in 2010, Oprah hosted a reunion special for The Color Purple, in which she talked about playing what role?
She Seeley?
No, she was Sophia.
No, Whoopi Goldberg was Seeley.
Yep.
Gotcha. I
Scott,
haven't.
in math, what two letters are used to identify the horizontal and vertical axes on a graph?
X. X and Y.
X and Y are correct. Brittany.
Geometry. Math is coming at us.
Callback. It's a callback.
My ninth grade geometry teacher will be thrilled that I got that right. And algebra teacher.
Brittany, which historic event took place in Weehawken, New Jersey on July 11th, 1804?
The duel between Burr and Hamilton.
Hamilton Bird duel is correct.
Very good.
Scott,
Peacocking. Dawn. Weapons.
Perhaps Gil Grissom knows this. From a Latin word meaning before the forum, what word means the science of crime scene investigation?
I want to say a word. Please say it again.
Yep. Perhaps Gil Grissom knows this.
From CSI, yes.
From a Latin word meaning before the forum.
Before the forum? Is that what you're saying to me? Before the forum.
Before the forum.
Okay.
What word means the science of crime scene investigation?
Yeah, I think it's got to be. Is it forensics?
It is forensic.
Oh, thank God.
Oh.
The form confused me because I didn't think 4 and 4 would be in the same thing. So I hesitated, but I was right.
Brittany, in golf, what is it called when a player gets one stroke over par on a hole?
Over par is a bogey.
That is a bogey. All right, Scott, which singer fronted the 1970s pop group? Oh my God, Shawady Waddy.
Could you even spell that?
SHOWADDYWADDY.
What did you want for this again?
We're looking for the singer who was the front man.
What, the singer who was the front man? I have I've never heard of him. I don't know. And that's my error, but I have no idea what we're even talking about right now.
That is David Bartram.
Good for him.
All right.
And his
Brittany,
family.
we're over to you. Familiar to night owls, what infomercial guru do we have to thank for the Vegematic and the Pocket Fisherman?
I should know his name. It's like Ken something, I think, but I don't got it. I don't have it.
I think you're thinking of the guy with the slap chop.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead for no points.
I believe it's Ron Popeil.
Ron Popeil
It is Ron Popeil. Yep.
Scott, we're going over to you.
Mm-hmm.
Olympic gold medals are made mostly of which metal? Gold, silver, or iron?
Well, it depends because every country makes them slightly differently, but I'm going to say are they made of iron?
Silver is the answer I have, but I will add that to one we will come back to at halftime and validate. All right. Brittany, by definition, a supermax is an extremely high security what?
Prison facility?
Prison facility, I will take, yes. Scott, what Russian revolutionist and rival to Joseph Stalin said, "You may not be interested in war, but war is interested in you"?
How about Leon Trotsky?
Leon Trotsky is a correct answer. Brittany, in what country did the Renaissance originate?
I don't think they sing it in the song, but I'm going to say Italy.
Italy is correct, and if I give you points for singing something rotten, I would. An amazing musical.
I haven't seen it, but I've listened to the soundtrack several times.
There you go.
All right. Scott, what technology executive began the quote-unquote lean-in movement after writing a book by the same name?
What technology?
We're looking for the technology executive who began the lean-in movement.
I don't know.
It'd be Sheryl Sandberg.
Mm-hmm.
Brittany, the title of a famous show tune from the 1949 musical South Pacific, Bali High, is a what?
Is it just a greeting?
No.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for no point. It's an island.
It is an island.
No,
island, like a forbidden island they can't go to.
Scott, we're going over to you. Crocodiles are well known for keeping their jaws open even while sleeping, largely because they lack what type of gland?
What type of gland?
Correct.
They lack the gland, so they leave their mouths open. They lack the gland of... I have no idea. Sorry, no, I have no idea.
Brittany for no points?
I have a guess of salivary gland.
Oh, of course. Oh, my God.
It's not. They actually
Oh, it's not the answer. Oh, okay.
They lack sweat glands.
Oh, that makes sense.
That does make sense, but I would not have gotten that.
All right, Brittany, what Lady Gaga song features the memorable refrain? Ra, ah, 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 Roma, Roma, ma, goo, ga, ooh, la, la.
On your bad romance.
Romance.
Bad romance.
I'll even sing it with her because I'll give you that. Even if you didn't know that, we're going to get to give you that one. It's my favorite Lady Gaga song, by the way.
Our time is up. We've got one last question for you.
Oh, shoot.
Here is your last question of Hot Seat Round 1. Which of these movies is actually a biopic of John Lennon? Is it I'm Not There, Love and Mercy, or Nowhere Boy?
I think it's Nowhere Boy.
Nowhere Boy is a correct answer.
I would have called his biopic, Oh No.
Are you proud of that joke? Because you should be.
I'm mostly usually proud of my jokes.
All right, so we've concluded our research. So the crossbow does date back to roughly 650 BCE in China, and William Tell did use a crossbow. So Brittany, you're not getting the point there. The question tying back that Scott had tying back to the metal used to make most of the Olympic gold medals.
It probably is silver, isn't it?
It is silver with roughly 92.5%.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that okay. Gotcha.
Oh, so they're sterling silver medals then.
They're silver, and I guess they do it like a gold plate over it. Is that probably what it is?
Yeah, they gold plate the medals.
I just thought they were probably really cheap and with iron, but they're not.
Do you
they're
think
actually
they silver plate the silver medals, or do they just leave them unplated?
It's a very good question. I honestly don't know. And I'm an
maybe?
Olympic nut. You would think I would have been all over that question. I'm surprised I didn't know that. I do know that different countries do different things. For example, when they won in Albertville, France, half the medal was actually like Lalique, crystal. and then the rest of it was the
That tracks for
metal.
France.
Metal,
That
yeah.
tracks.
But I
Chris,
guess
please
whatever
tell
was,
me that the
I guess
midpoint
whatever
is
was the
not
gold part of it
Olympics-based.
was fairly silver. Yeah.
You just be happy because it was going to be name 5 of the sports that were just added to the Olympics for 2028, but it did not go there.
Thank you.
And one of them is breakdancing.
Is it?
It
Really?
is. No, I'm not even kidding.
So, flag football, baseball, and softball are on there as well.
Okay.
But breakdancing is one of them.
All right, heading into halftime, Brittany has maintained a slight lead. It's currently 14-12. Scott did pick up 1 extra point there. And all this changes a little bit with our halftime round. Your halftime is going to be a matching game. I love the matching game because it does allow us to have just a little bit of more fun because you get to squirm a little bit.
Does Britney Spears is she Brett Summers and I'm Charles Nelson Riley? Is that kind of match game? No.
Not that kind of match game.
Damn.
No.
Oh, how hilarious.
It is all science related.
Oh, for goodness sakes. What are you, Brittany, a scientist? Is that what you do for a living?
I work in insurance for a living.
Oh, okay.
I am going to give you a list in alphabetical order of the 5 most common elements in the Earth's crust. You're going to tell me in order of most to least readily available, or not readily available, common, most common to least common. You're going to put them in that order. So what is first, second, third, fourth, and fifth most and least common, or most common?
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I sort of.
You're giving us 5
You're giving
elements.
us in alphabetical
4
order,
elements?
did you say? You're 5.
So I'm going to give you a list of 5 elements.
Yeah.
Those
Okay.
5 elements they do comprise the top 5 most abundantly available elements in the Earth's crust.
Okay.
You need to put them in order of most to least prevalent in the Earth's crust. These are the top 5, though. So this is according to a scientific study posted on the World Economic Forum. And I did double validate this against a couple of other scientific articles, but I did not write down what they were. But this is what I have, so we're going with it. Your 5 are, in alphabetical order, aluminum, calcium, iron, oxygen, and silicone. Again, that's aluminum or aluminium for our British listeners.
For our British people.
Calcium, iron, oxygen, and silicone.
Hi, I'm Jay, host of the new podcast Verboten.
I'm Brittany, one half of the team behind Frenemy Trivia.
And I'm Jeremy, the newest member of the Pub Trivia Experience podcast.
And we're coming together today to tell you that this show is sponsored by
Critical Grind Board Game Cafe.
Critical Grind holds a special place in all 3 of our hearts.
It's a wonderful place to get together with old friends or make some new ones.
Whether you're after one of their mini fantastic coffee drinks or one of their signature toasts, Critical Grind's got you covered.
With an enormous library of tabletop games available, it's a fantastic place to unwind and celebrate your inner nerd.
Critical Grind is a recognized gaming safe space, which means you can truly be yourself there.
Critical Grind was recently voted Best in Family Recreation for 2023 in its area.
And with their new expansion, there's even more fun to come in the future.
So check them out near the intersection of Black Road and Route 59 in Shorewood, Illinois.
Or if you're not local, find out more about them anyway at linktree.com/criticalgrind.
Either way, tell Dana and Sean we say hi.
Critical Grind Board Game Cafe. Life is short. Play more games.
Proud supporters of the PTE network.
And vice versa.
All right, our answers are locked in. Brittany, what did you have as your first most abundant element?
Oxygen.
Scott, what did you have?
I had oxygen.
Oxygen is correct, 46.1%. Number 2. Scott, what did you have for number 2?
Well, I put silicon.
Brittany.
I had oxygen and silicon both written as the top 2 before you gave us the list, so I also put silicon.
Silicon is a correct answer. Silicon locks in at 28%.
Oh, wow.
So you both are 2 for 2. Brittany, what did you have for number 3?
This is where I was between 2. I ended up going with iron.
Scott, what did you say?
I think that's what I was hemming and hawing on. But I went with aluminum for some reason. Aluminium, as my mother would say.
So aluminium is a correct answer. A shade
Oh,
over
you're kidding me.
50%.
I really, when she said iron just now, I thought that was.
Yeah, no, I had it aluminum originally, and those are the two I swapped at the end. So,
All right, Scott, what did you have for number 4?
I next had iron.
And that would mean you had what at number 5?
Calcium as the bottom.
Brittany, what was your 4 and your 5?
well, I had aluminum at number 4 and calcium at number 5.
Aluminum, iron, and then calcium is correct. Iron 5.6%, calcium a shade over 4%. Scott, you just aced the halftime round. Nicely done.
Well done.
Geology. Wow, you were
Yeah,
really. How did we know that?
I had. So when Chris said what it was, I wrote down oxygen, silicon, and then I wrote aluminum, and then he said iron, and I second guessed it.
Well, it's funny.
And I
Brittany,
swapped iron at the last second.
I originally in my mind thought oxygen, iron. I don't know. I just thought there's got to be a lot of iron because there was the Iron Age and all that. And then I thought, well, no, there isn't a lot of iron. There just isn't a lot of iron. And so there you go.
Well, Scott,
and silicon's in like every rock, right? Silica is like in every rock and everything.
Well, like sand is silicon dioxide.
Right, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Scott picking up all 20 points there. Brittany's picking up 12. The scores have flip-flopped a little bit. Scott's sitting at 32. Brittany's at 26 points. All right, Brittany, being that you are now in the second place seat, do you want to go first or second in round 2?
Well, considering I think I knew more of Scott's questions than my own in round 1. I'm going to go second.
Scott, you're going to go first. Your time will begin after I read your first question. Here we go. What is the easternmost U.S. state capital?
It is. It's either Maine or Florida. I'm going to go with Augusta, Maine.
Augusta is correct. Florida is all the way in the left-hand side of the panhandle, so good job there. Brittany, the Haskell Opera House has its stage in Quebec, Canada, while most of its audience members sit in what state?
Michigan.
No, Vermont.
Yep. Wrong thing.
Scott, did you know that one?
I did.
I knew yours.
Make no mistake about it, the fault line between New Zealand's North and South Island that separates the Australian and Pacific tectonic plates shares its name with which animated resident of Jellystone Park?
Well, there's 2. It's either Boo Boo or Yogi. Yogi?
No, it's a boo-boo fault.
It's a boo-boo
Yeah, make no mistake about it.
It was so obvious. Why did I not say Boo Boo? Oh,
why didn't I go first?
Oh, for goodness sakes, that was dumb. All right.
You're good.
Brittany, we're over to you. Squab, Squab, is a name given to the young of which type of bird?
Pigeon.
It is a pigeon. Nicely done. Scott, which treat was the indirect result of a failed attempt by its inventor to make synthetic rubber?
Which treat?
Which treat was an indirect result of a failed attempt by its inventor to make synthetic rubber?
Wow, I would think this is obvious. Why don't I not know this? I'm sorry. I have no idea. I don't know.
Be chewing gum.
Oh, of course. Oh, I'm a moron. Why am I even on this show? What's going on? Everyone out there was yelling. There were people yelling chewing gum at their sets.
Someone just wrecked their Volvo yelling at you.
Someone just wrecked their Volvo saying, Scott, you should know it's chewing gum. It's made of rubber.
All right, Brittany, we're over to you. What was the occupation of a Chilean man named Edison Pena who was honored at Graceland during the King's 76th birthday celebration?
What was the occupation?
Of a Chilean man named Edison Pena who was honored at Graceland during the King's 76th birthday celebration.
I have no idea. I'm going to say guitarist. Is that an occupation?
Is it chewing gum? Is chewing gum the answer to this? I'm with you, Brittany. I have no idea what that is.
What has Chile been in the news for a lot in the past 20 years?
What has Chile been in the
Yeah.
news about?
Mining accidents. He was a miner.
Oh, I don't watch the news.
Wow. Okay.
I was like, sea bass? I don't know. Patagonian toothfish?
Yeah, I should not have missed chewing gum, but we all would have. That was like, what was that? Okay,
Yeah,
go ahead.
The
Go
hot
ahead.
everything take it away. Scott, true or false? Antarctica is believed to have once been a tropical land with lush vegetation.
Boy, when it was all one thing. Oh, I don't know. True.
True is correct. Brittany, which beer markets itself as the king of beers?
Oh, come on.
I don't know.
False question.
Budweiser? I don't know.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
The only
They have a
beer
crown
question I
on their
even
label?
know. See, my
right,
father's
now-
favorite beer.
In which movie is the time machine a DeLorean sports car?
Back to the Future and all its little sequels.
That is true.
And I'm going to say this. We said this when we did the movie thing. To this day, and it is my era, I have never seen Back to the Future. I don't know how I missed this movie. That was the biggest thing when I was in college, but I've never seen it.
It's one of my favorites.
I know everything about it. Like, I know everything about it, but I've never actually sat and watched the thing.
I have seen this movie.
Yeah. But it
Brittany,
is
which
Back to the
of
Future.
these slang terms is defined out west as a quote unquote urban Easterner who vacations on a ranch? I'm going to give you slang terms. You tell me
Okay,
which one is
yeah.
defined out west as an urban Easterner who vacations on a ranch: a slicker, an hombre, or a dude.
I'm going to say a slicker.
No, that's the trick right there with city slickers. It's actually a dude, hence the name Dude
Yeah.
Ranch.
I thought the dude was the name of the ranch hands.
No, I think they call them dude ranches because dudes came and spent their holiday at them.
Well,
Exactly.
as 10-year-old me was fond
With
of
their
saying,
when they brought their crossbows.
a dude is the hair on an elephant's butt. So,
Hey,
Well, there you go.
Scott, we're going over to you. In
Yes,
what
sir.
blockbuster classic film
Yes.
does the character crawl inside of a slain tauntaun to keep from freezing?
That would be Luke Sky. Do you need a character?
We're looking for the name of the movie.
Oh, the movie. Oh, goodness. Oh, okay. It's the second one. A New Hope, and then it's got to be Return of the Jedi.
No, that's the
No, it's
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes
What?
Back. Oh
Don't
my god,
say
I
it.
know that. I do know this. Oh my god, I lived them. I watched them all when they happened. Oh my god, that was so dumb.
Oh, I'm so glad someone else had a Psycho Hitchcock moment.
Oh, I just did. Oh my god, that was terrible.
Brittany, we're over to you. What was the name of the real gangster nicknamed Scarface? This man's 7-year reign as a crime boss ended when he went to prison at the age of 33.
I don't know. I know Al Pacino played him in the movie. I think. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I don't know anything. I should know this. His name was Tony Chicago. That's what I'm going with.
Can I at least pick this one up?
Robert De Niro played in the movie, by the way. Go ahead.
Really?
It's Al Capone, isn't it?
Al Capone, yeah.
Al Capone.
No, Al Capone. Shit.
The movie
That's why I said
Scarface that
Al
Al Pacino is in has
Pacino.
nothing to do with Al Capone.
Because I was like, oh, because it's Al Capone, and I always think it's Al Capone, but
No, Al
it's 'cause
Capone
it's
was
Al
also
Pacino in
called
the movie.
Scarface.
But apparently it's not, and I was
that
right.
movie
and I
has nothing to do with Al Capone, right?
All right, Scott.
Why did I go second?
Wagyu beef famously comes from what island nation?
I'm sorry, what?
Wagyu beef.
Could you please spell that?
Wagyu. Wagyu beef
W-A-G-Y.
famously
Oh,
comes.
Wagyu beef. Oh, I didn't know. I thought you said Wagyu bee. I didn't know what you were saying. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say it again.
Wagyu beef famously comes from what island nation?
Oh, it's Japan.
Japan's correct.
Sorry. Didn't mean to waste so much time on that question.
You're good. All right, Brittany. The street artist known as Banksy is originally associated with which British city?
In London.
Bristol.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Scott, we're going back to you.
Yep.
Which Major League Baseball player spent his entire 14-year career with the New York Yankees without winning a championship?
Not going to give me an era or anything like that. Wow. Spent his entire 14-year career with the Yankees.
Because it is a little vague because the Yankees have been around for a while, I will say it's in our lifetime.
Okay. But that when the Yankees were kind of in a dry spell, I guess. It would be it'd be a guess, but I know he's no. I can't guess because I have. I'm sorry, I just don't know.
It'd be Don Mattingly. Donnie
Oh,
Mattingly
okay.
in baseball.
Yeah, no, I would not have come up with that.
All right, Brittany, a tramp stamp is a common slang term for a tattoo found where? Bonus points. What's yours?
I don't have one. Lower back.
Not showing you mine then. All right. Scott, going right over
Jay
to you.
will show you hers.
Scott, what was the name of Treasury Secretary Alexander Hamilton's wife?
Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton. Pretty sure it's Schuyler, but I think it's Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton.
I have it as Eliza. I don't know her as.
Oh, it might be Eliza. Yeah, but we might want to look that up. Yeah, but
we'll look that up. But I have it as Eliza.
I think it is Eliza now that you say it. But
by the way, I would have also accepted Philippa Sue because if Leah and I ever get divorced, Philippa Sue, I am coming for you, even though you're married now. Brittany, what rapper has the most streams on Spotify?
Rapper with the most. I mean, I can kind of think of 3 that might fit the bill. Kendrick Lamar.
No, it's Drake.
It was not even one of the ones on my list. So,
Scott, going over to you. Which of the following is not an Andrew Lloyd Webber musical? Cats, Phantom of the Opera, or The Producers?
The Producers, written by Mel Brooks and Thomas Meehan.
That is the correct answer. Brittany, what is the name for the deep-fried dough sticks commonly found in Spain that people often dip into melted chocolate?
Churros.
Churros is correct.
Very good.
Scott, what is the name of Salvador Dali's most famous painting with melting watches?
Oh, watches. The persistence of time.
Oh, so
no. What's it called?
Memory.
Oh, of memory. Oh, shoot.
All right, Brittany, we're going over to you. A person who is fighting imaginary opponents is said to be tilting at a what?
Windmill.
Windmill is correct. Scott, what did humorist Dave Barry once call a, quote, medium-sized rural island that is slowly but steadily being consumed by sheep?
Oh, that's slowly but steadily being consumed by sheep.
A medium-sized rural island that is slowly but steadily being consumed by sheep.
Well, because it's always... Is it New Zealand?
No, wrong end. It's Ireland.
Oh.
Brittany, in the classic version of Monopoly, name the 2 utility companies.
Water and electric.
I need you to be more specific.
More specific.
Waterworks and electric company?
That is correct. Scott, which Broadway musical is based on a 2004 biography by historian Ron Chernow?
Well, since I may have just missed his wife's name, it would be Hamilton, which Lin-Manuel Miranda was given on vacation and loved every page of it.
Somehow
Why did I go second?
Questions in a row.
Yes, a little Broadway musical for the Broadway guy.
We're going to make this a little bit easier. We're going to even this a little bit, Brittany. We're going to give you a theater question. Which iconic play did William Shakespeare write specifically for King James I? Though you could be cursed if you speak its name in a theater.
Thankfully, I'm not in a theater. Macbeth.
Macbeth is correct. All right. Scott, which American city's Major League Baseball team are named the Cardinals?
St. Louis.
St. Louis is correct. Brittany, which of these lines of a traditional wedding rhyme is the name of a 2011 romantic comedy starring Kate Hudson? Is it Something New, Something Borrowed, or Something Blue?
Something Blue.
No, it's Something Borrowed.
Something Borrowed,
okay.
Yeah.
Scott, which comedic magician has a daughter named Moxie Crime Fighter?
Wow. Good for him. Magician?
Which comedic magician?
Oh, and I've met him too. I'm going to go with, is it Penn Jillette?
It is Penn Jillette.
Oh, wow.
Brittany, Larry Nance Sr. won the first NBA All-Star Slam Dunk contest. In what decade did it happen?
The 1970s.
It was 1984.
I would just like to point out, with the exception of the Yankees question, I have known every single one of Scott's questions. And I chose to go second.
You picked it, yeah.
All right, well, Scott, we're going to finish this up here because time did go up after Brittany gave her answer. You're each going to get one more.
Okay.
Scott, here's your question. Which Ivy League university is located in Ithaca, New York?
Mythical Ithaca. That would be hi. What's in Ithaca? Is it Columbia?
No, Ithaca's Cornell.
Oh, Cornell. Shoot.
Columbia, I think, is right in the city.
It's in the city. I know Columbia's in the city. It's in every Woody Allen movie. What am I thinking?
Brittany, your final question. Which series of wars over the English throne inspired George R.R. Martin's Song of Ice and Fire?
The Wars of the Roses.
War of the Roses, Chaucer's tales, the brutal feudal system. I love the show Something Rotten. It's one of my favorite.
I do too. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I love the soundtrack for it.
Oh, you should see it. I mean, if there's a production of it, you should try to go. Yeah.
There was apparently one 2 years ago, but I moved here after tickets were on sale.
Well, it might come through Chicago again, so if you can, because it is entertaining. Very entertaining.
Well, you both picked up the same amount, but I've got to check one for Scott. So we're going to go ahead and take a brief pause while I validate Eliza Schuyler's name.
It's Elizabeth.
It is Elizabeth. Yep, you got there as soon as I did. So Scott will get the point.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Brittany.
It's not your fault.
But
I mean, it is kind of your fault.
I am correct. But they called her Eliza.
They do call her Eliza.
In the show.
She goes by Eliza, but her full name is Elizabeth.
Her name was Elizabeth.
Hamilton.
Yeah, I just kind of remembered that
in
from
fact,
history.
her full name is Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton.
Yeah, Schuyler. I knew there was Schuyler in there.
Sorry, I should let Chris host his own show.
No, one of the trivia nights or shows I'm working on for here on PTE is an all Hamilton trivia episode that's going to bounce between historical fiction, historical facts,
and the musical,
and the musical. So I'm looking forward to writing that.
Mm-hmm.
Who originated the role of King George?
Jonathan Groff.
He sure did. No, but I think he did on Broadway.
I mean, he did it on Broadway, but he wasn't.
It was not something borrowed. It was not something, but the guy from
Christian Boyle.
The other one.
Oh, the other guy.
Spotlight as well.
No idea. I was thinking Jonathan Groff, but you're right. There is somebody who originated in the original.
He did it in previews, and he left because he was starring role in Something Rotten, and I can't think of his damn name right now.
I'll think of it.
Utkarsh, can't think of his last name at the moment. Who was just on Celebrity Jeopardy? He was the original Jefferson on, like, in the workshop for Hamilton, because he and Lin-Manuel Miranda were friends.
I somehow, I kind of remember that. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Brian Darcy James was the
That's who it is. Yeah, who's wonderful. Who's now going to go back to Broadway does anybody know?
I don't. What's he come back for? I love him.
They're going to make, and it was done off Broadway with someone we know here in Connecticut named Kelly O'Hara. They're going to do Days of Wine and Roses, the musical. It's like a 90-minute musical of the movie.
That's going to be a quick show.
It is. He gets her drunk very fast and turns her into an alcoholic really fast.
Through all 90 minutes.
All through 90 minutes. Yeah, she's like, he's the drinker and she's not, and then by the end of the show, she's worse than he is. So yeah.
Hey everyone, it's Jay.
And Brittany.
And Tim.
And we're excited to let you know about an exciting new trivia project.
We have assembled 48 amazing trivia writers from around the world to contribute to the first ever Trivia Advent Calendar.
It's a trivia adventure.
Are you proud of yourself, Shaw?
Extremely. Every day from December 1st to December 24th, players will unlock a pair of online quizzes on a variety of topics.
There will be 10 questions per quiz, each generously contributed by a different writer.
Wow, I just did the math in my head, and that's nearly 500 trivia questions across the month of December.
That's a lot. And speaking of math, this is a project for charity with 50% of all proceeds directly benefiting World Central Kitchen,
Covenant House,
and Child's Play.
The suggested price for this calendar is $25.
but we decided to incorporate a pay-what-you-want model, so give as you're able.
And yes, this does make a great gift for the trivia lover in your life.
So head on over to ko-fi.com/triviaadvent to register today.
That's ko-fi.com/triviaadvent.
Thanks for listening, and
Happy
holidays.
All right, your scores. Coming out of Hot Seat Round 2, Scott has got a 41-34 lead. Here is how your wager round is going to go. You're going to wager your points in any way, shape, or form that you want based on 3 categories. You can wager none of your points, you can wager all your points, and you can break them up in almost any way that you want. The caveats being, you must make whole number wagers, and you cannot wager negative points. I don't know why I have to tell people that.
I wager -3.
Your 3 categories are going to be 70s music debuts, the intersection of beer and world history, and I will tell you that means that there's 2 ways to get there. It doesn't mean it's actually where beer and world history intersect. There's 2 ways to get to the answer. Question number 3 is going to be the category of literature. Again, 70s music debut, the intersection of beer and world history and literature. All right, wagers are locked in. We are going to go question by question through this. Question number 1, your category was 70s music debut.
If it's that Wada Bada Bada band, I'm going to punch in the head.
It is not.
Waddy waddy.
The first hit song by the band The Police is not only inspired by prostitution, it also features a very strange mistake. In the song, you can hear Sting let out a laugh. That happened because during the recording, he actually sat on open piano keys. In what song did this happen in?
I'll lock in.
Both of our contestants have locked in. We're moving on to question number 2. The category was the intersection of beer and world history. What beer, a double IPA from the Russian River Brewing Company, is named for a Roman philosopher, author, and military commander who allegedly is the first person to mention hops in their writings? Sadly, this person would die while trying to save a friend during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius.
Could you please repeat that question?
Of course. What beer, a double IPA from Russian River Brewing Company, is named for a Roman philosopher, author, and military commander who allegedly is the first person to mention hops in their writings? Sadly, he would die while trying to save a friend during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Lock in when you're ready.
I will also lock in.
Okay, 2 dejected locks in there. We're moving on to question number 3. Your category is in literature. Here is your literature question. The list of the top 10 best-selling books of 2022 was dominated by Colleen Hoover, who had 6 of the top 10, including It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and Ugly Love at numbers 1, 3, and 5, respectively. Name one of the other 4 authors who had a book in the top 10 bestseller list for 2022.
I'll lock in.
I'll lock in, yeah.
All right. We are going to go question by question through this. I will ask you for your answers and your wagers, starting with question number 1. Category was 70s music debuts. The first hit song by the band The Police is not only inspired by prostitutes, it also features a strange mistake. In the song, you can hear Sting let out a laugh because during the recording, he sat on a set of open piano keys. In what song did this happen? Scott, your answer and your wager.
Roxanne is my answer. I hope it's right. And I wagered 20.
Brittany, your answer and your wager.
So, music trivia is one of my worst categories. I do like 70s music, so I thought about wagering points on this one and decided not to. I said 0. Unfortunately, I locked in Roxanne on Based on Prostitution. So
So did
I
I. The
also
word
said
prostitution.
Roxanne.
The rest of the question was a blur to me. Yeah. And watch it not be Roxanne. That would be awful.
Roxanne is
Won't be awful for me, but
Oh, that would, yeah. Roxanne.
Scott's picking up 20. Brittany's picking up 0. It's 61-34. As we move on to question number 2, the category was the intersection of beer and world history. Which, by the way, I have been holding on to this trivia question for no joke
For your whole life.
It's been 6 months. It's been sitting in my bank, and I'm like, tonight's the night I'm going to bust it out. So we'll see if anyone gets it. What beer, a double IPA from the Russian River Brewing Company, is named for a Roman philosopher, author, and military commander who allegedly is the first person to mention hops in their writings? Sadly, he would die while trying to save a friend during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Scott, your answer and your wager.
Oh, I go first again? Okay. Yeah. I'm a big Mount Vesuvius aficionado. I've been fascinated since I was a child. The whole thing of it, Herculaneum and all this is amazing. And I believe that the philosopher who was killed, now I don't know if this is the name of the beer, but this is the name of the philosopher. I know nothing about beer. I believe the philosopher that was killed was Pliny the Elder. I don't know if the whole thing is the beer, but I'm going to say Pliny the Elder, whatever that means.
What was your wager?
0. Because I had beer. I was like, well, I have no idea.
Brittany, your answer and your wager.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a beer name, but I remembered a connection between Vesuvius and Pliny the Elder, and I wagered more than Scott 1 whole point.
Pliny the Elder is correct.
I was willing to risk it.
If you read, it's actually really sad. Like they were getting up to where his friend
Yes.
was, and
I only know it because of the story of him, because it's a fascinating story. Yeah.
like, the gas got to him, and he asphyxiated right there on the beach.
And I believe the friend got on the boat, right?
I believe the friend
I believe
survived.
Pliny died and the friend survived. I believe that's right.
Oh yeah. So
And they found him literally on the shore of by the water. Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Question number 3. Your category was in literature. Just so you know, Scott is currently sitting on a 61-35 lead. It all comes down to this question.
Cool.
The list of the top 10 best-selling books of 2022 was dominated by Colleen Hoover, who had 6 of the top 10, including It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, and Ugly Love at the numbers 1, 3, and 5, respectively. Name one of the other 4 authors who had a book on the top 10 bestseller list for 2022. Brittany, what was your answer and your wager?
So, I hope this is 2022 and not 2021, but I remember where Crawdad Sing was huge for a while, so I put Delia Owens, and I wagered 16.
All right, Scott, your answer and your wager.
As a librarian, I can confirm that Where the Crawdads Sing was that same year. And also, we'll get to that in a second, but it just so happens that another book on this list happens to be the next book that's being read for the book discussion at my library, which is a book by Taylor Jenkins Reid, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. So that's one, but Delia Owens also should be on this list. I believe they're all on the same list with Colleen Hoover.
Which one is your answer, though?
Well, how about both? Delia Owens.
You're both going with Delia Owens.
Yeah.
And what was your wager?
I wagered 21 on that.
Mm-hmm.
So the top 10 list did feature 4 people. It had Jeff Kinney with a book that I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but I believe it's Diaper Overload. It did feature James Clear with his book Atomic Habits.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Taylor Jenkins Reid with The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yep.
And Delia Owens with Where the Crawdads Sing. The only other person to crack the top 5, the other 4 were literally all Colleen Hoover books.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
So with that, Scott, you were going to pick up an 82-51 win tonight. Nicely done, my friend.
Oh,
Well done.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. Wow.
Woo.
Well, Brittany,
Heavy
that
hit
was-
matchup. Nicely done, you two.
And I have to say, though, a literature question at the end, that was probably slightly unfair, Brittany. That was my...
I mean, I got it right.
You absolutely did, which was wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got it right. But that was my second year
mean-
as a library director, and I was buying books, and they were all Colleen Hoover books, except for Where the Crawdads Sing.
Hold on, because I am almost positive Where the Crawdads Sing came out before that. I thought that was pre-COVID.
It did.
It
came
did,
out,
but it cracked the.
It was one
when
of
the
those.
movie
It was
came
like a
out.
sleeper, and then it did big, and then the movie came out, and then it did big again. It was a funny book that did that.
Okay, well, it came out in 2018, but Scott, you're going to pick up the win tonight, my friend. Congratulations!
Thank you. No, I'm happy,
Well done.
very excited. And Brittany, what a wonderful night. That was really fun to
Yeah.
challenge.
I really wish I had picked to go first in the second half. So, because I knew all but one, maybe two. I'm not sure if I would have pulled Cornell. I was like, because I kept thinking of Columbia, but I was like, that's in New York City. Which one's in Ithaca?
You know what's really, and we've all done this in our lives. Like you said, you pull a whatever you call it on the, but I know it's Cornell. I know someone who went to Cornell in Ithaca. I say mythical Ithaca all the time. And so when those things don't come into your head, it is the same thing that people do say. And Brittany, you probably experience, on Jeopardy. I famously, if you go back, there is a tape of it. They were asked me a very simple question of the answer was the movie The Piano, and for some reason I rang in and said The Pianist. And I totally knew it was The Piano because I knew that Holly Hunter wasn't in The Pianist, and so but my mind wouldn't click to the right thing in my head. And
I never said anything wrong on Jeopardy.
And I know it's
ever.
The Empire Strikes Back. I just watched the darn thing the other day.
Hey, I knew it was Psycho, but
so that's what it is. And you said The Shining? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
No, I thought we put it to bed after episode 250.
It back up.
Well, he brought it back up because I did a similar thing.
You are the only one who has the right to wake it back up, Chris. So
it doesn't bother me.
I think just to end this thing, I think all of us who do trivia have had these moments where we absolutely have known this answer since we were 5, and then you're asked it, and you say a totally different thing.
Did you know that Billy Mays was not on Home Improvement?
Oh my god!
Because
hold on,
I didn't.
Billy Mays on Home Improvement. You thought he was Wilson and not Al Borland.
No, I actually thought Wilson and Al Borland were the same character. That's the problem. I thought the guy who helped him on the show was also his next door neighbor. No. And that's why it was so funny. Like, I didn't watch that many episodes of Home Improvement.
I didn't watch it at all.
But in my head, that was always Billy Mays. And they were the same person. Like, that was one character played by Billy Mays.
To your credit, they look a lot alike. And
yeah.
Alike.
Richard Karn and Billy Mays definitely do.
But before we take off for the night, I want to give everyone a chance to go ahead and kind of talk about whatever they want to plug. Scott, I know you got some charities and things that are close to your heart, so go ahead and tell our listeners what you would like them to support.
Oh, sure. Well, as people know, I'm a librarian, so I always say this on this, support your local library. Now more than ever, it's really important. They're a place for free for everyone to find knowledge and Delia Owens books and Colleen Hoover books and all sorts of things. And it's there. They also have places where you can use the computer. People find jobs every day in my library. It's really quite exciting to see that and have resume review and all that kind of stuff. So libraries have amazing functions in our community, and so I just really thrilled to plug libraries.
I think I mentioned this last time you were on, but it's something that's always kind of stuck with me. I read this online years and years and years ago, but as we advance as a society, libraries are one of the few places in this world that you can actually exist without the expectation of spending money.
That's correct. You can be there all day. There's no one's making you do anything in the library. Yeah, you have to follow the rules of the library, but you can't just go nuts in there. But you can, you absolutely can. You can spend your day in the library.
And now I've got to go back and pay off some library fines. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of libraries, quite honestly, this is a big movement, are going fine free. It was part of a movement to stop the barrier from people feeling that, quite frankly, there are communities where, if you owe a $3 fine, you may be afraid to go to the library. And if it's a choice between paying a library fine and maybe eating that day, I want the person to eat that day and not be afraid to come to my library. So it's really important that those fine, a lot of libraries are still dealing with whether we do this or not, and it's still an issue. But It's kind of an amazing thing to remove
So
that
my
barrier.
local library is
many
fine
people.
free. So.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, and obviously, if you lose a book or destroy a book, that you still pay for that. But to have that nickel fine, that dime fine, that wasn't really making people bring back the $26 Colleen Hoover book.
Oh, I think
it just wasn't.
my overdue books are from like 1993. So
Yeah, well, we're coming to get you. I'm actually on the library police, and I'll be at your house tomorrow with my Abbott and Costello cup.
I mean, I'm coming to Connecticut next year anyway. You could just wait.
You are. That's right. I hope we do meet up and have lunch. That would be phenomenal.
That would be awesome. Brittany, go ahead and tell listeners about your show, but like
your network,
my network, our network,
comrade.
Tell listeners about Frenemy Trivia for those that don't know already.
Sure. I am the co-host of Frenemy Trivia, the show where friends quickly become enemies. I host it with the always tank-topped Tim Dipple, and he is as much crap as I love to give him. He's a fantastic co-host and is one of the key reasons the show runs as smoothly as it does. But we are, depending on when this airs, we have either just wrapped up or are wrapping up our first season with a tournament of frenemies. So we took our 16 champions, one of which was Scott, and they faced off in a head-to-head times 16 tournament. And it's been a lot of fun having people back who have played before and have willingly come back for our silly little reindeer games. And it's been a great experience. I didn't know what to expect when I was asked if I wanted to join this project, and I regret none of it. So, not the Canadian territory, the experience. I don't regret any of it. So
the scarier thing to me is like you obviously at some point had listened to our show and you said, yes, I want to be a part of that. And I don't know why you did that, but I'm grateful that you did.
Yeah. Tim reached out and he had really kind of sold me on it just as the concept. And I was like, yeah, I think my one condition was like, well, I want to be on as a player first. So I told him I was going to be on as a player and then we could have me on as a co-host. And
well, can I say something, Brittany, as a player who's been on twice there? You're wonderful. You and Tim both. You make it so. I said to Tim, I think I emailed you. You make it so comfortable, so relaxed for us that we can really shine, and that's really what you want to do on something like this. Chris does this as well. That's why I love being on these shows with Chris. And you and Tim just made us all feel so comfortable. And I just want you to know that how I just think you did a wonderful job with those.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. If we can get that show to 100,000 downloads, I might try and get Tim to do an entire show topless.
I'm there.
I'm not. You can...
his one gay fan. He's all ready.
He's got more than one. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy the antics that we bring you here on the Pub Trivia Experience in Frenemy Trivia, I've got good news for you. The show Pub Trivia Experience has kind of expanded and ballooned over the last couple of years to bring on boozy bracketology, Frenemy Trivia. And we've actually formed our own network, the PTE network. And that network is going to be expanding the shows that it brings you on a regular basis. The newest show that we have launching, it should have actually already launched by the time this episode airs, is a show called Verboten. It's hosted by the hardest working woman in trivia, Jay Borsum. I have listened to the first 2 episodes, y'all. This show is hella fun. It is such a good time. It is a combination trivia and game show. It is a lot of fun, and Jay, as always, is magnanimous and glorious all at the same time while keeping her sharp, razor sharp sense of humor. Verboten will be out in November. If you want to be on that show, if that's something you're interested in, you can go on to the ptebb.com and there's an appearance request button you can put on there.
And here's a vocal request. I want to be on this show. Everyone hears that. I'm going right to that form right now. No, that sounds like amazing fun.
It is a great time.
I'm on episode 1, and I can only highly recommend it as a very fun show to be on and a very fun hostess.
Is it wordplay too? It's also
it's a word game. Yeah,
right? It's a word game. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Great. No, I can't wait.
It's a lot of. The weird thing is, like, it's a lot of fun to play. But like the 2 episodes I listened to, I legit listened to on my car ride to work, and that trip went like that.
Wow. Yeah.
in downtown Tampa traffic, and I didn't even realize how fast it was going. So Jay has put on an awesome show. She is very proud of it. We are very proud to be partnering with her to get this out there. It's great fun. You've heard enough from me. PTEBB.com is your home for all of our bonus content, our Patreon, all of our socials, our Discord server, the whole nine. But for the pub trivia experience, I have been Chris.
I have been Scott.
And I've been Brittany.
We will see you next week. Until then, have a good one.